Do you need to be initiated?
You need to be initiated to do voodoo.
To do voodoo?
Yes.
Can I ask you what that initiation looks like?
The first possession I ever really saw in front of me, I saw this Shango priestess who was maybe 4 feet tall, 90 pounds soaking wet, pick up every man in the room and holding them up over her head and throwing them across the room.
This is a different type of power we're talking about.
Yes.
The voodoo lifestyle specifically.
Yeah.
What does it cost you?
I think it's cost me quite a bit. I don't think I had a choice, if that makes sense. I don't think I had a choice.
All right, guys, welcome back for another episode of the HORRORble podcast. We are here continuing our Louisiana marathon. Tonight we have a beautiful woman here with us. I'm going to allow her to introduce herself. How are you doing?
I'm good. I am Lilith Dorsey. I am a Voodoo Priestess, author, witch, scholar, filmmaker, and New Orleans resident at the moment. Yeah,
there you go. Okay. I want to jump into, actually, I want to open up the podcast with this question. What is the difference between voodoo and witch?
Oh, okay. I mean, voodoo is a religious system that comes from West Africa. Benin is the birthplace of voodoo. And basically, it is a religion founded and primarily practiced by Black people, both in Benin and throughout the diaspora, throughout the whole world. And witchcraft, I think, you know, there's so many cultures where witch is just like a bad word, right? Yeah. Like, and I think we're finally reclaiming that a lot. Mm-hmm. But witches primarily were of non-melanated people, I'll say that, right? Mm-hmm. Like, because a lot of times when you get people in Africa or something, witch still has those bad connotations, especially in the native language and things like that. But they are both foundationally systems of magic. It's about affecting change in your world, hopefully for the good or for sometimes not so good, but out of necessity. That happens too, right? Sometimes. So I think that's the short answer as to what the difference is.
Gotcha. All right, since that's out the way, where are you from?
I'm from New York City originally, Brooklyn, represent. That's where I'm at.
So how long you been in New Orleans?
I have been living in New Orleans for 5 years, but I've been coming down probably 3, 4, 5 times a year for the past 20 years.
Gotcha.
So yeah. I worked as a choreographer and a dancer for the jazz musician Dr. John, who most people in New Orleans know and throughout the world. And he pretty much brought voodoo back into the public stage. And one of the things that I think is beautiful is at his funeral, one of the Neville brothers got up and said, "This man right here is why Black people and white people are on stage in the United States today." So he did a lot for sort of really giving people the respect and tribute that they need, especially from New Orleans culture.
Yes, ma'am. So I want to jump into some early on experiences, especially as a child, and then lead our way all the way up.
Sure.
You've had some experiences when you were younger in a house. Can you tell us about that?
Okay.
Some haunted house stories?
Yeah, well, more like haunted apartment basement stories growing up in Brooklyn, right? Yep. But I was living in this apartment that I was living with my mother and my grandparents, and there was a basement, and the laundry was in the basement like these things are, right? But it was sort of a basement that went all underneath 4 different connected houses of huge apartments, right? Like, so this was huge, and it was bare earth walls, and it was at least, 100 years old, and there was just these weird, dirty rooms and things of that nature down there. And it was really creepy. And I started talking to some of the things down there, and it's interesting. I think a lot of people think, oh, imaginary friend. And then when they're older, they're like, wait a minute, that was really there. And that was really talking to me, and it couldn't really leave the basement. Mm-hmm. And I think I didn't even realize that until much later when I had a friend, and she started talking to the same imaginary friend that I had in my kitchen.
So you you considered it imaginary friend at the time?
Yes,
Okay.
when I was young. I thought it was just like I would if there was a homeless dude living in the basement. Hey, there's this guy over here, and he talks sometimes, right? Like,
Yeah.
but other people don't see him, unlike the homeless people who may have been there. So it was just this thing that, oh, okay, I can see this and other people can. But I knew it was my friend. I don't think I made a distinction between it wasn't still alive, if that makes sense, right? Like,
But was there any point in time where you made physical contact and your arm
all
went
the
through?
time. Yeah.
So you could touch this thing as a child. Does that tell you that the imagination is truly that strong?
It does, or that whatever, the force is strong, right?
That's
like
true,
that,
right.
I think, and I've thought about it a lot as an adult. I had a lot of trauma as a young kid. So I think that makes you more aware of what might be there, both in the physical and the invisible world,
Yeah.
right? Like, so I think I was already halfway onto that page. I mean, my parents named me Lilith. This is not a name I took.
Yeah.
This is one they gave me. And so I think I was always sort of paying attention, and I grew up with that pop culture with Bewitched and everything like that. So I knew it was, those things were out there. There were ghosts out there and stuff like that. And it didn't really surprise me, but I knew enough not to start telling people that, I saw this thing in the basement and it said this, because they wouldn't really respond to that well.
You said you had a friend that's seen it as well?
That saw it years later in my kitchen in a different house.
And how did that go?
And she's like, you have a ghost in here, right? I found her sitting in the kitchen floor, right in the corner. And she's like, you have a ghost in here, and its name is, Peter. And I was like, what? And she described it to me, and it was my imaginary friend from when I was little. And I was like,
The
okay.
same one?
Yeah, the same one. Looked exactly the same name, same everything, right? And I said, oh, okay, that's interesting, because, when I was little, this was there, and we started to kind of like, I guess, make friends, make peace with it or whatever.
Right.
She was very woo-woo witchy kind of thing. So she would light candles to it and stuff like that. And I was just like, it's another thing that's here, like the raccoon that comes at night. There's a ghost that comes by sometimes,
So you weren't telling your parents or anyone else that this homeless guy is down in the basement?
They didn't pay attention. They drank a lot. It's fine.
Gotcha. Okay.
I mean, I probably said a lot of things to them.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were, unless something was really going on, they weren't going to pay any attention.
That makes sense.
Like little kids said it, right? Like I grew up with children should be seen and not heard. So anything a kid said probably wasn't taken very seriously.
So if this specific spirit or ghost, whatever people want to call it, was in the basement but yet in another place, this was able to move different places?
Yeah.
It wasn't trapped?
No. I think it was coming with me. Yeah, definitely.
Coming with you specifically?
Yeah, definitely.
Think it had an attachment?
I think it did have an attachment. But I also think the other conditions were right too, right? Like because the conditions in the first basement were really freaky. And that house I was living in at the time had this drain in the cellar that was always like, you just got a really bad vibe off of it. And we always stayed away from it, right?
A specific drain?
Yes. It was like, I think it was, I guess if it had flooded or something, it was going to go down this drain. But it was just like this giant manhole cover in the, it sounds crazy now that I'm saying it, right? Because I've been in a lot of basements since and I've never seen anything like this.
Yeah.
But it just had this giant manhole cover that had such negative kind of, and like you didn't want to stand over there or like put anything over there. It was just creepy.
Maybe that's where he passed away.
It could have been. Yeah.
Maybe, yeah.
Definitely.
So what is seeing something like that and then realizing it, that it's not everybody can see this thing? What does that do to a child's reality?
It makes it very interesting. It does. Because I think there's this way of knowing, but then everybody's telling you it doesn't exist, right? Like, so that's already a dichotomy, And as I said, I had a lot of trauma, so it was kind of almost like these things in a way stepped up to help me get through that. That's really what I feel.
I can see that. So these things are not always negative?
No, they're not always negative. No.
Do you think that this person was trying to guide you in any way?
Yeah, I think it was definitely trying to warn me, and that's happened to me a lot too, where I've had these sort of like supernatural experiences where somebody was shifty or shady or dishonest, right? Like, so, one friend of mine came over and they stayed at the house and they were like, well, I was trying to sleep in that bedroom and Marie Laveau woke me up and told me I needed to get out. And I was like, what? Then come to find out 2 or 3 days later that they were lying to me and like doing all this shifty stuff on
lying?
the side. Yes. Yes.
Those people aren't around no more, right?
No, they left and they're not coming back ever again.
Gotcha.
No. But I do. I think it's like, okay, you have somebody here that's not genuine, that's not honest, I had a story for you. I had I just came here in a what do they call them? One of those hire cars, right, that you get. And I had a driver tell me last week, we were talking about ghosts. She said she had a ghost in her house and her ex was on the toilet trying to call other women on the phone, and the ghost came in and knocked his phone in the bowl.
What?
Yeah. So again, it was one of these things where they stepped up and they were like, okay, you love this man, whatever, but he's being dishonest,
right.
and I'm going to show up and,
take care of it for you.
Yeah, And she's not with him anymore, so that's good.
Yep. So what's the difference between being haunted by something and being called by something?
That's a good question, and I don't think anybody's ever asked me that before. Haunted sounds like you can't get away from it, right?
Right.
And it also has a lot of negative connotations, right? So if something's haunted, it sounds like something bad happened or something negative happened, or it's foreshadowing something negative that's going to happen. Whereas I feel like called is just, you feel like that's where your soul and your spirit is. And if you go there, things will get better.
Gotcha.
Right? So I feel like if I'm called to Marie Laveau or called to voodoo, that's something that makes my life better. It doesn't fix all the problems, but it gives me solutions to deal with them when they show up.
You've been doing, this word is hilarious to me. It's funny because I want to know what would be unsuccessful, but you've been doing successful magic since 1991.
Yes.
What would unsuccessful magic look like?
Well, if somebody comes to me and says, I want to get my, lover back, they left, right? I had one guy, his girlfriend called his mom a bitch.
Okay.
And he's like, well, I don't know if my mom's going to accept her, and I don't think she really wants to come back. And I was like, well... And the first thing he asked me, he said, what usually happens when you work with somebody to get a partner back? And I said, well, first we do a psychic reading, cards, pendulum, all of that, to see if it's possible and if it's best for everybody who's concerned, because I'm not doing anything that's going to make things worse for people. And then I said, most of the time the person will come back and they won't want them anymore. So basically what happened was, he ended up getting back with her, and then he didn't like her anymore. He broke up with her within like a month after that.
So you would consider that unsuccessful?
I would consider that successful because he got what he wanted.
Right.
Yeah. Unsuccessful would be, I want my girlfriend back and the girlfriend doesn't come back, right? Or one guy wanted his wife to sleep with him and she was, I don't know, frigid or some crap. She was up for it. You want to light a candle and we'll have better sex? She was up for it, right? So I did it, and they had great, wild, passionate sex. And then he called me the next day. He's like, I want 2 candles. By the time, by the time we stopped, he was lighting like 10 candles. And I was like, dude, you're going to burn the house down.
Yeah.
Like, you got to find another way to get happy with your woman. Like,
there's really candles for stuff like that?
Yeah.
And that's something you would do?
Something I have done.
Okay.
But yes, like I said, I always do a reading first to see if it's best for everybody.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do it if somebody was like didn't know about it, right? Like, so if you were doing it for better sex and your partner didn't know about it, or you were doing it for something like that, I wouldn't do it because I think that's like unethical. But
then couldn't somebody lie to you?
Sure, they could lie to me,
say
but that's
like, hey,
on
my
them.
wife knows.
That's on them.
So it's like, do it at your own risk.
I mean, I do the
risk.
reading. It would tell me if they were lying, So what would unsuccessful be? Unsuccessful would be like it didn't work, or if they were lying or dishonest, or if they didn't want to know, right?
Yeah.
Like, I think I used to do readings where I would give people their money back. I was like, money back guarantee. I say some crap in this reading, you can have your money back. And I did that for 20 years. And then and nobody asked for their money back. And I only gave it back to one woman who, she was really pregnant. And it turned out her man was cheating with her sister. And she didn't want to hear that. And I didn't want to say it. And I certainly wasn't going to take her money for it. And I was like, I'm sorry, you need to go home and talk to your husband and your sister. And that's all I said to her, and here's your money back.
You found this out through, what was it at the time? Tarot
Card reading.
cards?
Yeah, it was a card reading.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can find this information out through that.
Yeah.
Let me ask you, when you read the cards, is it something or someone speaking directly to you?
It can be.
Okay.
Like if it's, my grandfather was a lawyer, and he was also liquor commissioner for New York State, but that's a whole nother story. But so if it's a legal question, and he went to jail. He went to Rikers.
Yeah, don't go there, y'all.
Yeah, right. Don't go to Rikers. So if it's a legal question, sometimes I'll ask my grandfather to come and help with the reading, because I would have went to him while he was alive if it was a legal question, you know. So if I know I have somebody who passed that's close, that like knows a lot about that, sometimes I'll ask them to come and help with the reading.
I want to get this straight. He passed away, but you're calling upon him still.
Yeah. Like I had a really good friend that was, I mean, he was an accountant and he did taxes and all of this stuff. And he was a voodoo priest and he passed. And after the last hurricane, I had a problem with FEMA and they wouldn't get back to me and I couldn't get my money or anything like that. So I lit a candle in front of him and I asked him to help me. Before I was finished putting the lighter back in my pocket, the woman from FEMA called. And she's like, I don't know why this is taking so long. I figured I'll just call you. Like, and I was like, what? I mean, I knew it would work, but I didn't know it would work like that.
It sounds like you got a lot of, I don't know, capabilities.
I mean, it's there. I think it's there if anybody wants to, what's the word, cultivate it, I guess, right? Like, you know, because in our traditions, the more energy and attention you give somebody after they've passed, the stronger they get in the afterlife, the more they can help you. So it's like a win-win situation. So if my friend who passed, if I remember him on the day he died, if I remember him on his birthday, he liked Dr. Strange, I gave him a Dr. Strange sticker the other day.
Yeah. Okay. So to be, because I know I started the podcast off with this question: voodoo and witchcraft, the difference between two. Do you need to be initiated to do one or the other?
You need to be initiated to do voodoo.
To do voodoo?
Yes.
Okay, specifically?
Yes.
Can I ask you what that initiation looks like?
The first one, first of all, you also have to have a teacher. This is not something that comes from a book, which even though I write books, it's not something that comes from a book. And it's very important that you have somebody there because everybody's different, right? And you need to have somebody you can go to with questions. So you find a teacher, and then the first one you get is, well, depending on if it's Haitian Vodou, it's called the La Vetette. It's similar to what they do in Santo called a rogation. Basically, it's like a baptism. So it's a water bathing, cleansing. And after you have that done, then the Loa or the Orisha or spirits, I guess if you want to call them, they can see you and they can hear you. Before that, they can't see you and hear you. As much as people, oh, I had a dream and now I'm initiated. It doesn't work like that.
How do you know, from your experience, what teacher to choose?
There's a lot of things that go into being a teacher. It's like you're choosing a parent, right? So you have to trust the person because they might tell you something crazy. Hopefully not illegal, but there's certainly stories like that. Sometimes there's weird things. Like I had a teacher who, there's a certain initiation where you have things that you offer up in the ceremony. And then if you want to get money, you have to take it and throw it up on top of a bank. So they're driving there in the middle of the night, throwing these garbage bags on top of a bank. So they might ask you to do weird things like that. You never know.
And you just got to trust them?
You just got to trust them. It's got to be somebody that you trust. And I think that's the mistake I see more often than not. People will just sign on with somebody in the religion. And it's like any religion where, you know, people get power crazy and they're not good people.
Yeah.
You know? So,
I want to talk about that specifically.
Okay. Yeah, we can talk about that.
But because I can only imagine that there's so many people that want to take part in this.
Yeah.
But then can either be lied to, played.
Sure. Definitely.
Or even worse, taken down a completely wrong path that they're not
Oh,
prepared
yeah.
for, right?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So, like, how often do you see this happening?
All the time, you know? So, I mean, I think you've got to observe. Obviously, don't just rush in. My godmother used to say that she wouldn't initiate anybody until they didn't want it, which makes sense to me now that I'm on this side of things, because it is a responsibility. You know, you've got to remember to do certain things every day. You've got to remember to, you know, spend time with the family. There's a lot of rules I have for people who study with me. That
The family,
you know,
meaning your actual
your
blood?
spiritual family.
Gotcha,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
So you have an actual spiritual family.
I do. I have, it's like a godparent, godchild relationship. So they're my godchildren. And I've had godchildren, I think now probably for about 20 years. Some of them have been with me for about 15. Some of them just started and then decided they wanted to do something else, which is okay. You know, if they haven't gotten too far, if they've been there for like 10 years and done all the initiations, they're really not supposed to leave. But some
Are
of
we
them go
talking about
crazy.
specifically spirits? Or
No,
actual
I'm talking about
people?
actual physical
Okay.
human beings. Yeah. No, I have physical human god kids
Gotcha.
that come over and do things like
Okay.
feasts and ceremonies
Yeah.
and initiations for new ones and stuff like that. Yeah.
Understood.
Yeah.
And these are people that you've been teaching for
Yes.
this long.
Yes.
Whew. So is it ever difficult? Have you ever had somebody come saying they wanted you to teach them and you turned them down?
Yes.
So how does that work?
Yes. I usually do a reading first, and if the reading says it, right? And I was doing a reading for this person, and I was like, you should initiate, just not with us. Don't come with us. And she hung around for like 5 or 6 years, and finally I was like, oh, okay, you can initiate with us. She just kept trying and trying. And
She was
then,
persistent.
She was, and then I had to throw her out because she was horrible. It turned out she was just there because she wanted to get to other people I was associated with as a famous witch, and she wasn't following the rules that we had. I said, you can't come to New Orleans to party if you can't come down for the initiations and things, right? That's fair.
That's fair.
Right?
That's fair. Yeah, that's fair.
And she was coming for, you know, Mardi Gras and going for beads, and I was like, no, you got to leave now. This is it.
If somebody had ill intent,
Yeah.
or an intent that they weren't truthful about,
Yeah.
to you, but wanted
Yeah.
to be initiated, isn't that something that you would be able to foresee?
Sometimes it is, but then sometimes I think that it's like having a bad student, it's like having a bad teacher. They're there to point out to you that this is not what's supposed to happen, right? Like I had one student who was very ill. He was in and out of the hospital with issues with diabetes, right? And he shows up for the initiation and he's got a picture of a famous actor. And he's like, I want to put this on the altar so I can date him. And I said, that's not what this is about. You have no job. You live in your mother's house. You just got out the hospital last week because you were almost in a diabetic coma.
Yeah.
You know, like this is not about you getting this famous guy. Like that's not what this is about.
So you do have a lot of people with, I guess, false hopes.
Yes.
Or just terrible ideas that
Yes,
if
yes,
I get
yes.
initiated to this will happen.
Yes. I mean, and legit, in my defense, he did get a lot better. He got his own apartment. He got a new job. He was doing some sort of crazy job that, like, you think, how are you going to, like, a fashion designer job?
Yeah.
Like, he went from being unemployed and being sued by the IRS. So, like, everything got a lot better. But he was still kind of low-key mad that he wasn't dating the guy from the Gilmore Girls.
I want to ask this. Before coming here, did you do any readings?
No.
Specifically about myself or the show?
No, I did it. I probably should have, but no, I didn't.
I just got to know. You never know. I wanted to know what the thing says or what the spirit said about me.
Oh, no, I'm sorry.
Okay, no problem.
I mean, I did ask them to tell me if I shouldn't go, like somehow. Like that's, just a
You
sign,
here.
right? And I'm here. So,
Okay.
yeah.
All
I'm
right,
supposed
so
to show up.
nothing too bad.
No.
Okay, gotcha. The word voodoo,
Yeah.
it gets abused constantly. When the public hear this word or they say it, what do they usually get wrong?
So much. I think the first thing they get wrong is that it's all about evil and revenge and all of that. And the way I explain that is it's usually because, think about it, it's a religion of enslaved people. It's a religion of oppressed people. So obviously we're going to have spells that are designed to take somebody out. That's the short way to say it, right? Like if I'm being raped and, lynched and my kids are being stolen, of course I'm going to have spells that will, make someone sick or make someone leave or make someone whatever. So, and that magic got stronger and stronger because of everything these people were forced to endure for so long. So that's why it has that in it. And that's pretty much what everybody wants to hear about. So, and nobody's doing these things to investigate it. As much as I say you can't learn voodoo from a book, I think about when I was in school, they taught me Greek mythology and Roman mythology, right? Like, and now we got Thor with his magic hammer, all of these things that we know, but how many people know, 10, 20 different African, Orisha or spirits that are our heroes and heroines throughout. Not even forget this Christianity. I mean, Shango in Africa goes back to the 4th century BCE. So 400 years before Christ, there was King Shango, who was an Orisha of fire and passion and drumming and the dance and all these things that people don't know about.
I don't think many people know about this at all.
No.
Most people think everything just started with Christ.
Yeah, when I was in Benin, we were at this temple that they were like, there's been a temple here for 6,000 years for Dambala and Ayudawedo. So like these sky serpents that birthed beings into existence. And they've been honoring them there for 6,000 years. It's crazy.
Wow. There's been people that I've had these conversations with about voodoo, where I've said spells and certain rituals were not always bad.
Yeah.
And people say, oh, that's demonic, it's demonic. No matter how you look at it, that's demonic. But talking to you, someone who actually has so many years of practice and training into what you do and experience, it's good to hear that it's not all bad.
No, it's not demonic at all. We don't even have like a Satan type thing. We don't even have any of that. That has nothing to do with voodoo. I think, put my anthropologist hat on for a moment because I have an anthro degree too. There's a lot of Central American, like Mexico and Belize and things like that. There's a lot of red and black figures in Mexico. They call them Tio, like they have horns, but those aren't devils either. They're just sort of trickster spirits. Tio, right? Like uncle. It's uncle who's always playing tricks and messing things up for us, right? Yeah. And I think that got shoved onto this Christian version of Satan. So then we could point at these savages and say that they were evil.
You said something that was, I think, very powerful that many people may need to hear again. You specifically stated if someone is going through real life trauma, such as rape, child abuse, these different things, I don't think people realize that voodoo was used to put an end to that stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
How often do you see this being the case, even to this day? Like people coming to you specifically for these things being stopped?
I wish it was more often, honestly. I know that sounds terrible, but, I feel like there's a lot of shame attached to that unnecessarily,
Shame as the person going through it?
Yeah. I think so.
I can see that.
And then I think the legal system is still so faulty. That was another reason people would turn to voodoo, because they couldn't necessarily go to the law and feel like they were going to get justice. So much of what voodoo is founded on has to do with racial injustice, social injustice, all of those kinds of things. I do get people occasionally writing to me from prison for help, but I'm never really 100% sure what to do with that because I don't have them in front of me or on the phone to do a reading, so it's very, very difficult to see who's genuine. And then the other thing is I had a good friend that was incarcerated, and I had to talk to, they have a Christian chaplain that you have to interface with and beg that I could send books in and stuff like that. So, it's not like I can say, oh, go out and get this root or go out and get this thing. They're very limited as to what they can do if they're in that space.
Oh, they got us toothpaste and a
deodorant
bar.
Right. Yeah. So I did have an ex that was doing hard time, and he used to be like, "Send me all your stuff, baby. I'm going to pretend to do voodoo so they leave me alone." And I was like, "Okay, sure."
That's one way to keep people off of you.
Sure.
I want to talk about Hollywood
Sure.
and how they have made, or the impact that they've made on voodoo being so negative. There's so many movies where I almost probably can't find one where it was positive. Does that bother you?
Oh, it bothers me so much. I was going to start the Voodoo Anti-Defamation League, right? Where I would just send a nasty letter to everybody who was misrepresenting voodoo.
Yeah.
And yeah, it does bother me. It does bother me that that's the one religion where people can still make jokes about it or say it's not real or laugh in my face. I mean, that was the moment when I moved down in Louisiana and I'm there. I think I was in the emergency room having a heart attack or something. And she goes,
You?
yeah, that's a whole nother story. But she goes, religion, you know, they ask you this. So, and I'm like, voodoo. And she just put it down. She didn't ask any questions or anything. And I was like, that's great. I'm glad I'm here in Louisiana. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you're okay now.
Yeah. Thank you.
We got a big raccoon that just walked by, guys.
Okay, there we go.
Just making sure.
That's my friend. It's not alive. It's fine. No, but yes, I hate Hollywood. I have in addition to the anthro degree, I have a film and cinema studies degree from NYU. So there's just so much bad stuff, so much hateful stuff, so much. And I think part of it is it's so hard to explain something that defies reality with the cinematic form, right? Like, so because you're really only looking at an image and a sound. I loved that movie that John Waters did with the smell-o-vision. He had scratch and sniff cards for polyester.
Yeah.
We used to steal them when I worked in the movie there. But it really is a full sensory experience, and you can't get that. So Hollywood, even if they wanted to represent it, it would be very, very hard. You know, and then there's all these things where it makes a good villain because who's going to complain, right? Like, you know, nobody cares if I complain, so that doesn't matter. And even when they do hire a consultant or something, most of the time they don't listen to them. You know,
Doesn't fit the script.
Yeah. Is it, you know, I mean, sometimes they'll just skirt around it and then, you know, Christ has to come back at the end or whatever, you know. We can show it, but it has to be bad or evil or something. And it makes me really sad. And I think that's the one thing that Sinners did right. My friend, Dr. Yvonne Chirot, was the consultant for the Hoodoo consultant for that. And she's a retired professor now, but she taught about this stuff for years. So I think that if they hire the right people and they listen to them, we can see they will get a much better effect out of it in the end.
You're talking about the actual movie Sinners, the one that just came out.
Yes.
Tell me exactly what voodoo was placed in that movie.
It's more hoodoo than voodoo.
Okay, can you tell us the difference before we go into that?
Okay. Voodoo, we talked about you need a teacher, yes. You need initiations, yes. You need ceremonies and rites and all of those things. Hoodoo is more freeform, whereas hoodoo was something that was almost always taught from one person to one other person. And it relied less on feast days and initiations and more on, I guess, what we would call practical magic, right? Like, here's my trick for if you hate your neighbor. If you hate your neighbor, you take a broom, lean it up on the side of your house that faces that wall that they're attached to or the next property, and then you stick a fork in it and you leave it there until the neighbor moves away. That kind of a thing is a voodoo trick. Yeah, it is a real thing. Okay. Yeah, you could do that
Y'all
to get rid of your crappy neighbor. There's my freebie for everybody. Yeah. But that's what you do. I don't know where they go, where they move. There's somebody else's problem at that point. Yes. But it was more, hoodoo is more based on things like that. Here's this really practical thing that I've done or that, you know, my old witch woman from the swamp taught me, and now I'm teaching it to you, and you can use it in this one specific instance for doing this thing.
So then how is that implemented into Sinners?
There's a lot when she has all the herbs that are there, when she's giving him stuff to sort of make sure he's okay and things like that. All of that
she had a
hoodoo stuff.
It was a mojo bag or something like that, right?
Yes,
that
she had a mojo bag. Yes. Which comes from mojuba, which is the Yoruba word for thank you. So it's thank you that we do for our ancestors. So we do our mojos or mojubas and thank our ancestors.
So in the sense of him wearing that is appreciation to the ancestors so they protect him.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes.
It's like being grateful.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
See, there's so many things that go over people's heads.
Yes, definitely.
I would have never known
Definitely.
this if I didn't talk to you.
No, I know. People think Mojo and they think, Austin Powers or whatever, right? Like, no, it comes from the Mojo Baza. Thank yous. Yes.
That's crazy. I guarantee you, there are going to be people that watch Sinners Again and they're going to be like, hey,
Yeah.
I bet y'all didn't know this.
Yeah, definitely.
That's amazing. I probably should have asked this question earlier, but it's something that you stated multiple times about voodoo being an actual religion.
Yeah.
I don't think people hear that enough.
No.
Can you tell me, what makes a religion?
Okay, what makes voodoo a religion? I mean, I think there's an established set of practices.
Mm-hmm.
There are spiritual leaders. There are, ceremonies, initiations, all of those things happen.
Yeah.
So I think that to me, there's again, everyone operates autonomously. So there's no one leader like a pope or something. But there are established ways that people do things, and people are devoted to it, and that to me I think makes it a religion. It's not a cult. I hear people call it a cult mistakenly, but there's certainly no one charismatic person. I was like, there's a bunch of white ladies taking their clothes off. That does not make it a cult.
I want to speak on that too, because we're speaking upon race and gender.
Yeah.
And I personally have never seen a white lady be tied to voodoo. When I hear voodoo, I specifically think of black people.
Oh, that's funny.
Is this true? Is this the case?
No.
So there are plenty of white people that do voodoo?
Yeah, there are white people that do voodoo. Yeah. I had, it was funny, I was interviewed by Al Jazeera a few years ago, and it was all about Marie Laveau and New Orleans voodoo, and then the article was about to come out, and the writer called me and was like, you've been whitewashed. My editor said he was going to cut you out of the story and instead substitute 2 white voodoo priestesses from New Orleans. And I was like, what?
Okay.
I just got whitewashed by Al Jazeera? What? Like, is this really happening to me right now? Yeah. So, but I have white godchildren. For me, I think that there's a couple of distinctions. I don't think that it's necessarily the best idea for, this is the way I was taught, even by people who are white, to have a house or a temple that's all white people. This is a black religion, right? Like, so that's sounds really problematic if you're in those spaces and there's no black people in those spaces. So that I would really question. My house is certainly, probably 95% people of color at this point, mostly black. But it's up to the spirits. So there's definitely people in the tradition that are initiated, and the readings were done, and hopefully some of them were initiated in a proper way, and now they operate in that way. But yeah, people don't like that answer, and they'll probably come for me, but it's fine. I'm old. I may die tomorrow.
We just having a conversation. I want to speak because I said race and gender.
Yeah. There's also a lot of, I have a lot of LGBTQ people in my house as well, which there's a lot of traditional voodoo houses that would not agree with that. They still have this.
You mean allowing them in?
Allowing them in, yes. Mm-hmm. Allowing them in. And it's, well, you said I can say anything, so I'll say this.
You say whatever you want, as long as you're comfortable with it being out there.
It's the truth, and, I might as well say it, so you can't say I didn't say it. It's, there's a real prohibition against gay men, I believe, and specifically gay men who are bottoms. And I think that's connected to Latinx culture in a lot of ways, because there's still a lot of down low anti-gay sentiment in both Black and Latinx culture.
Can I ask, where did this stem from? Where did this come from? This thought process?
That's the connection.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think, I just had friends that came back from Jamaica. They're still you can be arrested for being gay in Jamaica, like, you know, a gay man in Jamaica. Like, there's a lot of these societies where there's still really strong taboos against it. And I think that drifted over into the religions.
Do you believe that the gay community should be accepted into the voodoo practice?
Yeah, like I said, I have gay people in my house. I definitely think it should be accepted. But I think that they should be accepted, but I also don't think that anyone who's not already in the tradition should come and try and reinvent the tradition, because like I said, it's been the same way for 6,000 years. So rather than them starting their own thing and not following any of the accepted practices, I would suggest they try and find a house that's welcoming. And there's a ton of houses that are welcoming. I'm not the only one.
Yeah.
But as a rule, yeah.
Something I want to talk about, voodoo, I guess some cases witchcraft, but possessions.
Yeah.
This gets a very bad connotation.
It's The Exorcist, Linda Blair.
People crawling on the wall, floating, speaking different languages, right?
Yes.
This gets terrible a connotation on it every time.
Yeah.
Is it all negative?
Oh, not at all. Not at all.
This is a shocker,
No.
so can you speak on that?
No. That's all horror movie, nonsense, crap, everything like that. So,
Same bullshit Hollywood put out.
Yes, bullshit Hollywood put out. And, again, it's one of those instances where I think if they actually represented the real thing, it would be much more entertaining, you know, because I was mentioning before Shango, and I think the first possession I ever really saw in front of me was at a Shango ceremony. And Shango, because he's like this big, strong king, he likes to pick everybody up in the room. So I saw this Shango priestess who was maybe, 4 feet tall, 90 pounds soaking wet, older than I am right now. So like in her late 60s, early 70s, pick up every man in the room. And these were some big ass New Orleans men. They were like 300 pounds. And she's picking them up and holding them up over her head and throwing them across the room. And I'm like, what is happening?
Hold on. How old is this lady?
She was in her 60s or early 70s, and she was 90 pounds soaking wet. She was a teeny little thing.
And she's lifting the grown men above their heads.
All the grown men. Like, she went through all the men in the room and lifted them up and threw them across the room.
This is a different type of power we're talking about.
Yes, it's crazy.
It's not human strength.
No, that's the point. And I think that's what people miss. Like, for me, in order to see that a possession is real and not just somebody trying to get attention or whatever, what we used to call Santa Baracha, right? Like somebody drunk in the moment and trying to get attention, are they doing something that's incredible? Are they doing something that we could not imagine this happening under any other circumstances, right?
I think there's a lot of people that are going to say, or would say, she was possessed. She had a demon. Only a demon would allow a 90-pound woman that's 5'2" to throw a 300-pound.
Why are we deciding it's a demon? Like, it didn't do anything bad. Like, the guys were fine. Everybody was, like, drumming and hooping and hollering and everything. They were so happy that Shango was there. Yeah, it was evidence that Shango was there. They were so happy. Yeah. I mean, because the end result of these things, even when it is extreme, is no one is hurt. That's the whole point, right? Like, I remember one time we were at a ceremony in Canada, and we had a fire pit like we have here, and it was on sand because we were on the beach, right? And so it was sunken a little bit. And I watched my priestess roll into the fire and then roll out again the other side and get up. Like, she just did it in this like one crazy move and get up and was dancing on the other side. She has no memory of going into the fire, right? Like, she wasn't burned at all. That was crazy to me. We had it's called a veve on the ground, which we do them in cornmeal and things like that, and then you dance on it barefoot. This veve came to life, and I could feel it like icy hands dragging me into the fire. And I was like, this is weird. I'm going to keep dancing. Okay.
Did you go in?
No, I didn't. I did go. The next day I did go in, though. We were doing a fire walk. And I couldn't figure out, if anybody who's ever done a firewalk, you kind of wait until you feel the spirit is with you, and then you do the firewalk and walk across the flames.
You're talking to me like I know what you're talking about.
Oh, I thought you've done a firewalk. It's a lot of fun. So they wait, and okay, so I was like, and I'm waiting. I'm like, I don't feel ready. And I was like, wait a minute. I'm not going to go march. Everybody's marching through it yeah. And I'm like, I'm going to dance through it. So I danced on the fire for 20 minutes. And I was like,
20
this
minutes?
is great. Yeah. Yeah,
you didn't get burned?
No. And she's like, these coals are 1,300 degrees. And I'm like, okay. Yeah, it was great. We had a good time.
You were comfortable within those 20 minutes?
Yes. As long as I was moving and in the zone, right? If I started to think about, what's the temperature? That's when I would start to, no, go back to dancing.
Right.
Forget it. No, we're not worrying about this right now.
Okay, so let me ask you this. I'm going to throw on a skeptic hat.
Sure.
Is it voodoo specifically, or is this the power of the mind being able to block something out while believing in something? Does that make sense?
Yeah. I mean, I don't really care.
There you go.
I mean, I think it's cool. I can dance on fire.
Yeah.
I don't care how I can do it.
That's
I
the
mean,
best
I
answer
think
you
the
could get.
voodoo is real, but I also know that if somebody, believed it, their mind could do whatever they wanted,
Yeah.
I have a good friend who's a priest in Ifa, and he got surgery without any anesthetic because he just...
Because what?
Well...
I need to know what's the because.
I think it was a combination of he'd always had bad reactions to anesthetic in the past, and also he did a reading and it said he should do it without anesthetic. So his doctor couldn't believe how he had this complicated surgery without anesthetic. And he believes it's both. He believes it's the power of his mind to not need the anesthetic, and also the fact that he's a trained priest.
I don't recommend that, y'all.
No.
Don't be out there after watching this getting surgery without anesthetic.
No, and don't try and firewalk. We did an event once where the kids came up to us. I did a flaming machete dance, and these kids saw it, and they were like, Mommy has a machete and Daddy has gasoline. And I was like, no, you're not doing this. Do not try this at home.
Yeah, don't do that at home, kids.
No, do not try this.
We, the HORRORble Podcast, are officially opening up the doors for you to submit your horror experiences. Those experiences can be anything from paranormal experiences, real life horror, anything off the wall. If it has to do with horror and you were terrified within that moment, we want to hear about it. We want these videos to be shot very specifically, selfie style. So you need to have the camera be looking right at you as you tell your story. So click on the link in the bio. This is where you'll be able to submit a selfie style video up to 2 to 5 minutes telling us about your horror experience. There may be a chance that myself and maybe a special guest will react to your story around the fire. So submit them crazy stories. I mean, what could possibly go wrong? Have you ever watched someone want the glamour of the unseen, but don't understand the cost?
Oh, sure. Everyone who believes in fairy magic.
Fairy magic?
I mean, in the Disney kind of way, I'll say that, because fairies have absolutely nothing to do with Disney, and they're quite dark and scary. And I went to the Leprechaun Museum in Dublin, and they have a whole thing about fairies and how Walt Disney actually owns all of the historical references for fairies and all of this fairy antiques and ephemera. He went and bought it all in the 40s and 50s.
Do you think he's hiding it?
Yes, it's in the Disney vault somewhere. But then he turned it into this weird kind of Tinkerbell Empire thing. Whereas they're quite dark and they're quite scary.
Can you give us a little backstory or history on fairies? Whatever you know. Why do you consider them so dark?
Because they just are the little fuckers.
Have you seen a quote-unquote real fairy?
I have had encounters with them. They are, on the one hand, playful, but also, if you look at real fairy tales, right? If you go back and you look at the real fairy tales, that's some dark shit, right? And it's foundationally based in some ancient dark magics. And it can be dangerous. That's all I'm saying. It's not nice and sweet and fly around and flutter your wings and all of that.
So what's the dark side of it?
There's a lot of well, I mean, look at Changelings, and not the HBO show, the real Changelings, right? They would come and they would take your baby and leave another baby.
Swap your babies out?
Yeah. You never heard of Changelings? Yeah.
No.
Yeah, that was a fairy thing. They would come and take your baby and leave another baby that looked just like your baby, but was not.
Like a demonic thing?
Yes. Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Uh-huh.
So where did this tooth fairy stuff come from then?
I don't know. I think somehow over time we decided that was too scary, or they got better PR.
The fairies got PR team.
Yeah, they do. I think they do. Yeah, I'm not messing with it.
What were your encounters like with
that.
the fairy?
Scary. Don't mess
All
with
of them?
that. I
All
think you
the
have to
encounters?
make friends with them. That's
Okay.
it. They're dark. It's like that friend that everybody has that they know is capable of something. So, you don't take your eye off him, but you still keep him around because he brings, stuff to the party. It's that guy.
It's a whole nother realm.
Yeah.
Y'all.
Uh-huh. So you keep them around because they bring stuff to the party, but you know that don't leave them, with the combination to the safe or the keys to the car or whatever.
When you've seen them, when you've seen fairies,
Yeah.
what they look like?
There's and I think this is just because this is what they told me they look like. I think they can take any form,
Okay.
but there's I'm gonna say late 60s, early 70s movie called Don't Be Afraid of the Dark, where these things come out of the fireplace.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
That's what they look like to me, but more messed up, like half burnt and stuff.
I don't want to see no fairies now.
No.
Celeste Mott that we were talking about a little bit, she gave me some kind of stone
Yeah.
where it helps you potentially see fairies.
Okay.
But after hearing what you're saying,
I don't think I said they've got glamour, right? So they can look however they want to.
Right.
But I think that the reality is much spookier.
Yeah. When speaking about going back to possessions, is there ever a safe precaution to take when being possessed?
Yeah, well, first of all, that's why you see people with their heads covered with white. So, when you see people in ceremony that have white head coverings.
Okay.
That's because you don't want strange spirits, unwanted spirits going in and out. So if you're going to go to any ceremony or anything, cover your head.
You say strange spirits, but how do you know which ones ain't strange?
That's why you get initiated. Like I said, before you get initiated, the real ones can't see you and can't hear you and stuff like that. So anything could come in.
That makes sense.
It's like leaving a door open and, my neighborhood's a little rough. So if I left my door unlocked, there'd be some rough street people coming in and trying to see what was up.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's the same deal. It could be the guy who died yesterday and was, drunk or not all there or whatever, trying to come and influence you somehow.
I'm just giving us a scenario. If you go to this ceremony, is that what we would call it? Ceremony where you're dancing on fire.
Yeah.
Would somebody like myself be able to attend?
It depends. It depends.
Because if I don't know what I'm getting myself into, but I want to attend one of these things, like you said, if I don't know to cover my head with white, if I don't have any of the knowledge you guys have,
right,
I'm open to everything, good and bad.
Yeah.
So I don't recommend that just anybody show up to these ceremonies.
Well, it's like anything else, Could I have a good experience in a Catholic church? Maybe. It depends who's leading the service, what's happening, who's going to be there. I know it sounds like who's coming to the cookout, but that's what who all going to be up in there. Yeah. That's what I feel like. I have things, but I do public things really rarely. It's really rare that I do it public, especially now. You know, after all these years, it's like, meh. But we used to do, I think maybe 6-7 years ago, we did New York City Pagan Pride. So that was the first time they ever had a voodoo ceremony there, and it was the first time they ever had like a BIPOC led ceremony there.
Did it
so
go
that
well?
was nice. Yeah, it went really well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you ever encountered a situation where you thought this person opened a door that they just not prepared for?
Sure, but I mean that's their lesson, right? My godsons called me once and they said, we invited this guy over to play D&D and he summoned a doorway to hell.
Doorway to hell?
I said, well, what'd you invite that motherfucker over there for? That was the first thing. Like, you know, who are your friends? Get better friends.
Well, how are they summoned? Like a Ouija board or something?
I don't know what happened, but normally, I mean, I think everybody should do things to protect themselves. So if your protection magic is working, it should work against most things.
What's me speaking to you, what's something I could do on a daily to protect myself from negative entities?
One of the things that I tell people to do is to put salt water under their bed.
Salt water. So like a bucket
like a little bowl
okay.
of salt water. You know, change it out once a week, once a month, on the full moon, whatever. I did have somebody tell me their cats were drinking it, but I suppose it's just salt water. So, but salt's really good for absorbing negativity and getting rid of things. And think about it. You spend the most time in your house in bed, right, in that one spot. So you're going to be there 6 to 8 hours a night, hopefully. And, you know, but so that's the time if you're weak or something, a lot of times that's where energies can get in and out. So
Gotcha.
That's a simple thing for people to do.
I still want to talk about, because the witch stuff specifically, I think witches have a little less bad connotation to them than voodoo does.
Yeah, but I've met some really shady witches.
Not saying that they don't exist. Not saying that they don't exist.
Yeah.
But I think they're a little more accepted.
Oh, sure.
Right? The name witch
Sure.
is a little more accepted than voodoo.
Yeah.
But as you just stated, there are a lot of people that can do witchcraft for all the negative reasons and ruin somebody or ruin themselves.
Yeah.
What do you think is so dangerous if people just think witches are all good? Like, what's the danger that comes from that?
I mean, I don't think anybody should think anybody's all good, right? Like,
yeah. I'm with you on that, yeah.
That's just where we're at with that, you know. And I think because witchcraft and voodoo they were secretive traditions for so long. So people don't necessarily know what is normal and what isn't. So somebody could ask them something really strange and they could think it was normal, you know? Mm-hmm. I mean, there's certainly a lot of abuse of all kinds in the witchcraft community, and we're learning more and more about that every day. But there's abuse in every religion.
What's the biggest beginner mistake that can go sideways?
I always ask my students when they start with me not to ask for anything specific. And by that, I mean, like, you know, you apply for a job. Oh my gosh, I have to have this job, or I have to have this house, or this car, or this partner. You don't know. Maybe there's a better job, a better house, a better car, a better partner. So if you're doing some kind of spell work or magic, do it to bring the best thing for you to you.
I see that. So if you're asking for something specific, you might be cutting yourself short.
Yes, definitely. Definitely.
Or in some cases, you may be asking for too much.
Yeah. Maybe the person that you want is going to leave you or abuse you or steal your money or whatever it is, you know. Or maybe the person you're really supposed to be with, who's got more money or a better house or better looking kids or whatever it is around the corner and you're not looking at it because you're focused on, it has to be this, it has to be this. And I think I really learned that once. I got evicted. And I called my godmother and she said, well, we all have to get evicted because this way, as a priestess or a spiritual person, then someone's going to call you and go, I'm getting evicted. And you can go, well, when I got evicted, right?
You're talking about experience.
Yeah, straight up. Yeah. I lived through it. Here I am. I'm not evicted anymore. Yay. You know, so, and I had gotten thrown out of this place and it went on fire like a week later. And I was like, well,
what?
what would have happened if I didn't move to somewhere else, right? Like,
I mean,
maybe
you're
I
talking
would have been there.
about good timing.
Yeah, maybe I would have been there. So, don't get so fixated on it has to be this one thing.
What's more dangerous for the voodoo? Ignorance, ego, desperation?
Oh, that's a good question. Here are some good questions.
I did a little homework.
I think ego.
Why you say that?
Do. I really do. Because I think at that point, if someone's operating purely from ego, they don't really care about other people, and they don't really care about what's best for the whole system, And all of voodoo, we talk about the proper path for people to be on, and there are bad people, and that's their path sometimes, right? Sometimes somebody's they just always lie, or they're always dishonest, or whatever. But all of us need to be doing what we need to be doing, and if somebody's full of ego, they're not going to care about, right? That's the definition of a psychopath. They don't care about anybody else's feelings.
Yeah.
That's right. So I feel like ego is just one step before that. And if they have magical tools, then they can harm a lot of people. Mm-hmm. They can harm a lot of people with the wrong information. They can harm a lot of people. I look at how many people we see now about do this thing with this herb when it's really dangerous, or put this crystal in the bathtub when it'll disintegrate and like toxic stuff will leach out of it.
If I see that, I just keep scrolling.
Yeah. No, I feel you. And I don't go track them down and yell at them.
Yeah.
I feel like, well, if somebody's dumb enough to do that because they saw it on Witch Talk, it's not my problem.
So you've seen a lot of that, the public misleading.
Yeah.
Witches leading other people, or voodoo people
Yes.
misleading other people.
Yes.
You've seen a lot of that online.
Yes. And I think a lot of the newer witches or newer to witchcraft people, they think they did something, so then they can tell everybody to do it, right? Whereas I explain to people it's like allergies. When I was a kid, I used to eat a peanut butter sandwich every day. There's some people, they eat a peanut butter sandwich, they're going to be in the hospital with anaphylactic shock.
My brother.
Yeah, see?
Gonna blow up
So
like a
not
blowfish.
everybody, so not everybody can eat a peanut butter. Just because it was successful for me doesn't mean I can tell you. And witchcraft is even more like that because there's so many weird different things about it. Like my latest book just got published in Brazilian Portuguese. If I'm in Brazil, the water goes down the drain a different way than it does up here. So how is magic going to work the same? Like I had to think about that. Like, is this going to work down there? Is it going to work in the cold? Is it going to work in 120-degree heat? Is it going to work full moon, dark moon, right? Like, and I even had a good friend who writes spell books, and she was like, oh, I wrote 30 spells today. And I'm like, how can you do that? Like, you need to test those out. You need to check it out. Like, it's like a recipe. You got to see if it's going to work and what needs to happen in order for it to work with different people.
It's published?
The one I was just talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was my tarot book. I've written 8 books so far.
Can you tell us, well, I guess at least about that one specifically,
Yeah, sure.
and where they can find it?
Sure. Tarot Every Witch Way, and WITCH, because witches do tarot all different kinds of ways. So it's got recipes for each of the tarot cards. It's got crystals. It's got herbs. It's got spell work. It's got meditations, all of those things. So if I'm a kitchen witch, then I can cook the cards and understand them better that way and integrate that into my practice that way. It's got little gardens. If I'm a green witch and I love to garden, I can make a little garden for the Empress card when I'm, getting ready to start my family, things like that, right? So, and it's available everywhere people can get books.
See, I like to listen. And there's some things that you just said. Green witch.
Yeah.
I've heard of a white witch.
Yes.
What are the difference between... I mean, I don't even know how many different types of witches there are, but you may know or at least have an idea.
I think in the book I put like 20 different kinds of witches, and I found some article in like a pop culture magazine, and this is what they said. So I was like, well, we'll start here.
Okay.
I know what these are. We'll go with that. But yeah, I mean, white witches are usually ones that only do beneficial magic, which again just seems very, more power to them. That's great.
We'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
Leave it at that.
That's great.
I got it.
Yes, sure. Yay. Yeah.
I want to speak about a topic that you actually called me about. The Pine Barrens.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know what this is.
You know what the Pine Barrens are?
No, ma'am, I don't.
Oh
So
my gosh.
Can you give us a little knowledge on what it is and why it's something you wanted to talk about?
Okay. Well, you said you wanted something scary.
We want as scary as it gets.
The Pine Barrens for me is probably as scary as it gets of what I've actually been to. It's a national park forest area in New Jersey. There is a haunted mental hospital in the middle of it.
In the middle?
For years, it was a body dump for the mob from both New York and Atlantic City. So what you have is this weird, like you heard of the New Jersey Devils, right? Like the folklore creature was that there was a mythic creature called the New Jersey Devil that lived in the Pine Barrens. And it was something, again, halfway between, you know how these things go, right? Like loup-garou, werewolf, beast, ancient thing that came and did really bad things to people that lived in these woods. So this story, I'm so glad that I don't, knock wood, do these things anymore. I do a lot of events, right? I teach a lot and do all those things. So there was supposed to be an event and it got canceled at the last minute. So all my friends, maybe 20 of us, decided we were going to go camping instead. And we were going to have our own festival. We called it something dumb like the Fuck the Festival Festival. Because the other one got canceled and we were mad. Okay, fine. So we go. And it's in the Pine Barrens. And I didn't know anything about the Pine Barrens either when I went there. So I get to the Pine Barrens. And, you know, it's these people that I don't really know very well. And so
you went into the middle of the woods with people you don't know?
Right? It's like Get Out, right? Like, I think me and my daughter were the only black people. Yeah, Although we did have my Portuguese friend who's kind of dark. So, and he was young. This is like the perfect combination for who's going to battle in the night, the evil things in the night. So it was me, he was a teenager. He was like a 16-year-old boy, and he'd always been friendly with me because he was friends with my daughter. He used to hide under my vending table and hit people we didn't like with a slingshot. And I'd be like, I haven't seen him. I don't know where he is. So he always loved me. So we decide we're going to, you know, whatever, party a little bit and, you know, just play some pranks on the people in the camp, me and him and our other friend who was a Romani, which everybody knows they've got some magic and some power and some fun stuff happening there. So we decide we're going to mess with these people because that's what we felt like doing. Okay. So we had one friend that was writing a book about Stonehenge. So we go to his tent in the middle of the night and we arrange a tiny Stonehenge made out of styrofoam in front of his cabin. And we're like, he'll wake up and he'll think the fairies have left it, right? This is great. Okay. So we're walking back down the road in the middle of the night and we hear something. And again, it's the woods. It could have been a coyote or who knows what's in there.
A deer, whatever, anything.
Fine, yeah, whatever. Okay, so turn around, can't see anything. Walking some more, hear it again, right? Walking some more. Okay, 16-year-old boy goes back, investigates, trying to figure out what the hell this stuff is. Finds these tracks that are like bigger than my hand and has an extra toe. Like, no shit, right? I'm like,
6 fingers?
Yes. It's craziness. And we start hearing these voices coming to us out of the woods. And we're like, we just heard something say this. Did you hear that? Yes, I did. It told me its name was this. Okay, well, it told me this. Oh, yeah, it told me that too. So literally, we're all getting these wacko weird messages from whatever it was that's following us through the campsite. Okay, fine. We get back.
Is it speaking like telepathically or just directly out loud to each other?
Like in our heads, we all heard the same thing.
Okay, gotcha.
So this was weird to us as well. But again, we were all good enough friends that were like validating it. Okay, yes, this is really happening. We get back to the campsite and we're still, you know, partying, whatever. And we're like, okay, you know what'll be funny? What if they wake up and the kitchen tent is a crime scene? We think this will be fun, right? Let's prank them. Kitchen tent is a crime scene. That's more than a prank. So yeah, then my Romani friend decides to make these little dolls end up looking like the Blair Witch things and hangs these all throughout the campsite on the trees. We wrapped the entire 10 by 20 kitchen tent in saran wrap and covered everything inside of it from floor to ceiling with fake blood.
Hold on. Y'all have brought fake blood?
He made fake blood out of whatever was in the kitchen. Hot sauce, ketchup, water, food dye. He's made fake blood. And also, like, taken all the knives and stabbed the cereal boxes and, like...
it look crazy.
We have no idea why we did this. We wake up in the morning and everybody's like, what the hell is happening? And I was just like, I'm leaving now and we're never coming back. I don't know what made us turn that into a crime scene. I don't know what those weird little freaky things were.
Hold on.
I'm still friends with him. He called me last week for my birthday. So, like, he remembers what happened and I remember what happened.
You're telling me that you didn't do this consciously?
No, we don't know what came over us. It was one of those things, like, once it started, we had to finish and take it to this extreme. And then we just passed out and woke up and we're like, what did
So this shit shocked you when you guys woke up?
Yes.
But did y'all know it was y'all?
We knew we had done it, but we don't know why we did it. And we don't know, we have no idea why we did it.
So something is going on in the Pine Barrens.
Oh, yeah. And I don't want to go back there.
You think what was speaking to you was considered the New Jersey devil?
I think that was what was following us, but I think that because there's an insane asylum there that's haunted and whatever, and because it was a body dump for murdered bodies from the mob for so long, it's like whatever it was that was negative in that spot was just being fed over and over and over again, this steady supply of bodies.
Yeah. Speaking of bodies.
Yeah.
Grave robbing.
Yeah. I'm going to laugh.
Go laugh all you want.
It happens because, and listen to me, anybody listening to this, do not tell me you have grave robbed and ask me what to do about it. I don't. I have a finger. Can I send it to you? No, you can't send it to me. I don't. Why did you take a finger? What is your problem?
I'm not taking no finger.
No, don't take a finger. I was laughing when you said it, though, because I had a, he's still alive, too. I had a boyfriend who broke up with me and said I was the craziest person he ever met. And then he started dating this chick from New Orleans he came home from work and she had stolen a body out of one of the crypts and put it on the couch next to her watching television. And I was like, and I'm the craziest person you've ever dated. I didn't steal a body.
She stole a body.
She took a whole body.
Put it on the couch and was watching TV next to it.
Mm-hmm.
What was his reaction?
Get the fuck out here. What the hell is wrong with you? I don't know what she did with it either. She took it out and put it somewhere.
Like, knowing me, I would have thought it was like a prank. But she went to get a real body.
No, it was a real body. It smelled and everything.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
And she was just comfortable.
Yeah, she was weird.
I haven't seen her for a while. You know how strange you gotta be to smell that?
I did see her when I first moved to town. I saw her a couple of times. I was like, that's the body girl. Yeah, okay.
Why are people doing this? Like,
because they can.
Simple as that?
Yeah. I mean, I think they think it's, again, back to the secrecy of religion. I'm sure you could find at least one or two old magic books that said, go get the hand of a, convicted murderer or something and use that in your spell.
I seen something recently about a guy that he had basically robbed over like 100 graves and he was selling the organs and shit out of them.
Wow.
And
That's
he
crazy.
finally got convicted for it. But he was like all on the black market.
Wow. That's nuts.
So there's no like dark voodoo ritual that you would know of that says, hey, go grave rob? Or is there really a dark side to it?
I mean, again, how do you know, right? Like, have I heard stories about people using, skulls? Sure.
Tell me about it. What you mean? What we using skulls for? There was like Ed Gein that was eating cereal out of a skull.
But I don't know whether or not this is just something somebody came up with in order to make it sound badass or whatever. Yeah. I just know that the story is that originally, when you get initiated as a mambo or a hungan in Haitian Vodou, you have a ceremony called Take the Assan. And what it is now, if you see most essence, it's a gourd rattle with beads on it, right? But I have had people tell me that in certain parts of Haiti that it was at one time a skull that the rattle was. But, again, maybe that's just to scare people. I don't know.
And that also doesn't mean that they were actually grave robbing.
No, you used to be able to buy skulls up until very recently. Now it's a federal thing. You can't sell skulls anymore.
I didn't hear about this.
Yeah.
So if you can get a skull now, it's either you're doing it illegally
Yeah, you're
or it's
doing
just
it
fake.
illegally. Yeah. Yeah, they used to, Haiti actually used to export skulls. It was one of the places you used to be able to order a skull from back in the day.
I wonder how many people were actually ordering skulls.
I don't
$1 million
know.
business.
I didn't order one. That's all I know.
You didn't get you one?
No. Although I did also have, there's somebody who, I think most of the time now, if people need it, it comes through some sort of deal with a funeral home. I've
What you
heard that
mean?
too. Like if you got a friend in the funeral home and there's a body that nobody's claiming, that the, deals can be made.
Get you a little $5,000 for a skull.
Yeah, I'm sure people are doing it.
You think there's some consequences spiritually that come with that?
Sure, definitely.
There's people that think that, once the spirit leaves the body, that's it.
Yeah, I don't think that.
Okay, let's talk about that.
Well, I mean, traditionally what they used to, that was how they would prevent zombies. They would cut people's heads off when they were buried. It was a normal thing to do. Because that way they can't wake you up again if you're dead. The way you're dead. You're not just temporarily. I mean, because the original formula for a zombie, let's talk about this. The original formula for a zombie was published by Zora Neale Hurston. She had a grant from the Works Progress Administration to go and do field work and learn about different herbs and potions and things like that. So she went to New Orleans, she went to Florida, she went to Jamaica, and she went to Haiti. And she found the formula for zombies, which was a combination of roots and plants and stuff like that. And then also this fish, which is similar to the Japanese fugu fish, which causes temporary paralysis and slowing of the breath. So they would make this concoction. They would give it to somebody, usually somebody, again, that nobody was taking care of and justice had to be done. So somebody who was like a child abuser or somebody who was a bad person in the town or whatever. They would give them this thing, they would take them, and then they would bring them to another village or somewhere far away where nobody knew who they were, and they would leave them there and put them like in the fields to work. And when they woke up, they wouldn't remember their name or where they were or anything like that. So that's what it was originally for a zombie. So there was a custom in Haiti at one point where they would chop the heads off the bodies to make sure they weren't going to come back to life in a zombie type way, which again is not like the movies. It's just a drug concoction to temporarily make you dead and then wake you up again.
What?
Yeah. But she didn't publish it. That's the thing. She didn't publish the formula. Nobody published it until, what's his name? With the serpent and the rainbow. Why can't I remember his name?
So back to Hollywood, fucking up
Wade
everything.
Davis, that's it. Wade Davis and Serpent and the Rainbow. He was a Harvard professor and ethnobotanist or whatever, and he found out the formula and he published it.
So a concoction that could knock you out,
Yeah.
wake up, forget everything.
Yeah.
That's the real definition.
Yeah. It's
Or
kind of like
where
a
it began.
herbal roofie now that I think about it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, nowadays, if you get roofied, you remember your name.
No, that's it. You remember your name when you wake up. You just don't remember what happened during the time. But this, you didn't remember at all afterwards.
That's the difference.
Yeah.
So we're on the topic of zombie. I just learned something new. We're in New Orleans.
Yeah.
What about vampires?
Oh, there's vampires here. There's lots of vampires.
A lot of vampires in New Orleans?
Yes, we love
And
our vampires.
Are we speaking on Hollywood vampires or a whole different?
I mean, there's all different kinds of vampires here. There's Hollywood vampires. There's acting vampires, right? There's people in vampire
Cosplay
cults that do rituals and things of that nature, And then I think there's also genuine, legit vampires, multi-100-year-old people that are doing weird stuff to stay alive. I don't know if it's blood drinking, but it's something.
Have you ran across one of them?
Yeah.
How'd you know?
I was going to say they have glitter on their skin like in Twilight, right? That's it. Which is funny because he moved that way too when I saw him. I love Alexander Sarsgaard.
Okay.
And he was the vampire in True Blood. And my daughter's, well, at the time she was a restaurant manager. And she's like, well, he's booked to come in the restaurant and it's your birthday next week. I'm going to sit you at a table next to him and you can just watch him. And he moved differently. If you ever see him, he kind of like glides through the space in a really graceful way. And there's also a way in which the light catches him that does not catch people the same way.
So it's just like a presence that you can...
Yes.
It's undeniable.
Yes.
And it's different.
Yeah.
But he didn't tell you he was a vampire.
No, he did not tell me he was a vampire. But now I'm suspecting it because now that I think about it, he really did move like the other vampires that I have seen.
Yeah.
Yes.
But you've seen multiple.
Yeah.
And they've all moved similar?
Yeah.
When they were, quote unquote, the real deal?
Yes. Yes.
So you think they're just all over the place and walking freely?
I think they're more than their fair share here in New Orleans. But yeah, I think they're all over the world, sure.
Do the typical rules apply to them?
No.
The sunlight, the garlic, the mirrors, the
I mean, I think most of that's probably hype, right?
propaganda or
Yeah.
bullshit, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, because if we go back and look, I did a whole thing about why do we have this vampire myth, right? Like originally people thought it was inbreeding, right? So that's why people were just getting lighter and lighter and more sensitive to the sun and things like that. Or the thing about are gingers vampires?
I never heard this one.
Oh yeah, I did a whole post about our gingers vampires because my daughter's a ginger. But yeah, again, it's like a recessive gene. It's 1 in 25 is a ginger.
Did you breed with a vampire?
I think I come from vampires because again, my great grandfather, they found him in the swamp, and he was a black man with red hair.
A black man with red hair, dark skin,
Light skin.
light skin.
Yeah.
So kind of like me, but red hair.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you're automatically tying red hair into vampirism.
Because if you look back historically, that's what a lot of people theorize this, you know, when vampires first started being talked about, written about, this kind of thing. The language of it was very similar to the language that's surrounding gingers, and people started depicting them with red hair and things like that. Like when you look at Lilith being the queen of vampires, people say that, you know, I think probably starting in the 1500s, they started to paint her with red hair and stuff. So, I mean, she was an ancient Mesopotamian goddess. She didn't have red hair.
I got a few more questions for you.
Okay.
You work in a lane where death isn't just a metaphor.
Yeah.
How did your relationship to death change over time?
I know a lot of people that died. So I think that certainly gives me a different perspective. And every time somebody else I really am close to dies, I seem to get another foot over there. So it's changed a lot. It's changed a lot. I think it's less about loss now and more about connection. I can see a clear connection.
Clear connection to what exactly?
Between the world of the living and the world of the dead. I think when, you know, most people see them as very separate. When I was growing up, that was what they tried to tell me it was, you know, this person's gone, they'll never come back again, right? Like, and then you look at, sometimes they might come back in a dream, or you know, you see a butterfly or a whatever, you know, and oh well, that's a message from them. And then sometimes you might see them come back in Yoruba. They have a word for two popular names are Babatunde and Iyatunde. So Babatunde is father returns and Iyatunde is mother returns. So this concept of being born back into your genetic line. So I think a lot of people can identify with that. Like they see the face of their grandmother in the child that was just born or something, or they hear the kid say something like they did or something like that, right?
Got you. What you think about reincarnation?
I mean, what we think of in voodoo is pretty much that we're reincarnated back into our family line, if at all possible. So your grandmother will be your kids. So you're expecting them to come back in that way.
Okay. I want to ask this then. If that is the belief,
Yeah.
how do you contact the dead one if you have a child on the way? Or if that child's already born and you want to contact your grandmother,
Yeah.
your sister, whoever it may be, and you just had a child and it's supposed to be this person, then how do you contact?
Yeah, you can still, the same way you'd contact them even if you weren't having a child. Like, the easiest way is if you have something of theirs, right? I had a client once, he'd come to me for a reading and he had a really sick baby. And the reading was that his grandfather was going to help. And I said, his grandfather had passed. I said, well, what do you have of your grandfather's? And he said, I have his spatula. And I make pancakes for the kids every Saturday morning with this spatula. And I was like, well, it's going to sound ridiculous, but take the spatula and light a candle in front of that spatula. And again, ask him to give you guidance and strength through this difficult time, right? Because we think about our grandparents and our great-grandparents, and they went through a lot. A lot of them probably lost kids. A lot of them probably, at the beginning of the pandemic, all I could think of is my grandmother had this story that she was 4 years old and she made a chicken dinner for her whole family because everybody was sick.
4.
Yeah. And she put it in the oven and she seasoned the whole thing, right? But then when we had the pandemic, I was like, wait a minute. The 1918 pandemic, she would have been 4 years old. So she lived through a pandemic, just like I just lived through a pandemic. And she knows what that feels like and how to deal with it. So if I call on her to help me and guide me through these difficult situations, chances are they dealt with something similar.
I can see that. What do you think people fear most about death?
I think that it's the end, right? I also feel like there's a lot of unfinished business people have, which to me seems so sad, right? Like, oh, I didn't tell this person I love them, or I didn't tell this person off, whatever it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, do it now. Tomorrow is not promised.
Do it now. Get it off your chest.
Yeah, get it out there. Come on. Because I think people do. They do really have regrets, right?
You think those are the ones that may be haunting places the most?
Yeah, I think so. And I also think the people who didn't get justice for these things, that's a big deal. People get taken too soon, people getting taken because of ego or selfishness or, unnecessary violence.
Yeah.
I think they can hang out a long time.
Why do dark feminine forces get demonized so aggressively?
Because they're so powerful. There's my short answer. Yeah.
Talk to me about it.
That's it. Yeah.
That's why they get demonized?
Yeah. Because other things came in and wanted to take the power. So they saw that there was a huge, immense amount of power. I mean, let's just take Lilith, right? Like, she was originally a childbirth goddess. So this is literally the most important time in the mother's and the child's life, right? We all went through it. We're being born into the world. It's also a really dangerous time. People still drop dead in childbirth. So she's the one that people go to, petition, honor, to make sure that transition goes well. But then you've got all of these, Judeo-Christian entities that come in, and then all of a sudden she's the one that comes and steals the baby in the night. She's the one that comes and causes miscarriages. She's the one that has demon babies hanging off of her and flying through the night with her to bring these mishaps to people. She's the one who's making yeshiva boys have wet dreams. It's all her.
There's a lot of y'all out there having them things too.
Oh, God. Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to ask this question since we're on it. Do you think society fears sacred feminine power because they can't control it?
Yeah, I do. I think it's unknown, it's foreign, like it's a mystery. And I think it's been suppressed for so long. So now it's like doubly feared, right? Like it's not something that we're just coexisting with and accepting. Now it's something that's been suppressed and demonized for thousands of years. So now it's extra scary.
Yeah. With as much experience as you have in this practice. Has there ever been a moment in your life where the unseen asked you for more than you're willing to give?
I think sometimes the cost was more than I anticipated, or the delivery is more than I anticipated. I like to call that the Twilight Zone effect of magic, right? Like, you'll ask for something and then something bad will happen and you'll get the thing, but then the bad thing happened that you weren't even anticipating. So, for example, this is back when I didn't do readings for people before I did spell work. This woman wanted to win the lottery. And she had a gas bill or something. And this was a long time ago. This was like 30 years ago. She had a gas bill that she couldn't pay. It was like $300. She's like, they're going to turn my gas and my electric off. Help me. I have to win the lottery. I said, okay. Blah, blah, blah. Do this and this and this. So she did this and this and this. And she won the lottery. I think she got $500.
I might need to win the lottery too.
No. Yeah, there's the end of the story. Her husband died the next day. So I don't think that her husband died because she was going to win the lottery. I think she was distracted. And instead of paying attention to, what am I supposed to pay attention to right now? Oh, my husband's sick. Maybe I should take care of him. She was paying attention to what she thought was her most important problem, the light and gas bill. And it wasn't her most important problem at all. I'm not saying she could have done anything about it, but I think that the payment was huge, and that was because she was focused on something that was not what she was supposed to be focused on right then and there.
What has this lifestyle, the voodoo lifestyle specifically, voodoo, witch, what does it cost you?
Oh, I knew you were going to ask me that. I think it's cost me quite a bit.
You said you knew I would ask you that?
Yeah. I don't think I had a choice, if that makes sense. I don't think I had a choice.
Tell me why.
Because I think, like I said, in order to keep me in the game a long time ago, I realized this was how it was going to be. There was so much violence and trauma and everything when I was growing up. I think in order to stay here, I just had to accept that those things exist and those were going to be part of whatever path that I was on, So, if I'm going to be on this path, I might as well be on the path that allows me to know as much as I can about what's coming, do something about it if I can to help it, There's always going to be those things, but if my spidey senses are on point, at least hopefully it'll go a little smoother. Or I'll have people around me that can help me. But no, it's not easy. It's not pretty. It's quite ugly. It's quite lonely. It's quite stressed out. Like it is like a non-stop kind of thing. In the sense I'm always on call for my godkids if something happens. I mean, it's like having real kids, right? Like your real kid has a problem and they call you at 10 o'clock at night. You're not like, oh, screw off. You're like, oh my gosh, what do you need?
Yeah. I hear you. That instinct kicks in.
Yeah. So definitely. And then they're there to help you too. So
just a couple more things.
Okay.
I do want people to, I guess, know where to contact you if they want to learn from you, to buy a book. How do they get in touch with you?
Right on. Well, my website's lilithdorsey.com, or they can find me pretty much on any social media. I'm all over the place.
Okay. And then my last question would be, is there a message that you have for the people that are watching this, or is there something about yourself that you would want them to know that they might not learn from this or any other time?
Well, my message is always just to try and pay attention if you can to what's around you, because it'll make things easier. And what people wouldn't know about me is that I have 12 fingers. Somebody I've known for a very long time didn't realize this about me until this morning. I'm polydactyl. I had an extra.
My sister had that.
Digit. Yeah. I found an article. It's supposed to be from the same tribe in Kenya. Like there's some Kenyan tribe. And my priestess Miriam from the Voodoo Temple has one. My dad had one. My grandmother had two. My daughter who died, Nia, had two.
What if it was you in that forest that you was talking about?
Yeah, right? Maybe it is.
Maybe it was you, right?
Maybe I'm related to them. That's what I feel like. So, I mean, they named me after a demon. No, not really. Lilith isn't a demon, right? But my grandmother's maiden name was Holborn, which, if you break it down, comes from Hel, the Norse goddess, demon goddess. So, like, born of hell. So
That's kind of crazy.
I'm like, oh, okay, another demon's in there. And she's supposed to be like the mother of Krampus. So whenever I go to a Krampus parade, I'm like, we're related. Krampus loves me.
Yeah. Matter of fact, since we're here, let's talk about that real quick.
Yeah.
Hell and heaven.
Yeah.
Is it real?
Oh, I don't think of things in that concept at all. I think there's people that get, I don't want to say trapped here, but people who stay here longer than they want to. I think there's people that pass unexpectedly or unaware or whatever, so they get sort of stuck somewhat more on this plane. We have a ceremony that we do, that again, I'm not giving out any secrets because people talk about this. That's an elevation, which helps to elevate people who have just passed so that they can get lifted up to the realm of the ancestors and then be with the other ancestors. So I think that's a thing. And then I think people do come back. So, either in their family line or in somebody else or whatever, because I've known too many old souls in tiny bodies to think that that's not what's happening.
Is there anything else that you want to talk about or address?
No, I think I'm good. I think I got it in there. Yeah.
I'm just making sure before we close this out.
No, I think
it was a great conversation.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Of course. Thank you for being here.
Of course. This is great.
I think we might be able to do this again at some point.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sure I have more to say when it's not this time of night.
We got to get you during the day. But yeah, I'm super grateful that you made your way out here and we were able to speak.
Yeah, thank you.
Grateful. I appreciate it.
This was delightful. And you're right, I will remember this. This was definitely entertaining.
I'm glad to hear that. Well, I appreciate you guys for watching. Please continue to like and subscribe and go follow Lilith once you guys get a chance. And man, Louisiana is teaching me a lot. I hope you guys are learning as well. So stay tuned. Stay horrible.